Hi everybody, it's Lynn from the Swirlydoos Education Design Team, and I'm here today working on the September Technique Kit from Swirlydoos, which contains some amazing ice resin and some wonderful fun stuff. This is the completed project that I ended up with. To begin creating the bezel, which is the framed up mirror frame antique silver, which came in the Technique kit, and here is the nice little bezel. I chose a piece of this kind of transparency paper that I wanted to use in my background, so I'm going to place it over top of my bezel, and I'm just going to kind of trace gently because I don't want to cut the paper prematurely. Then around that edge that I just made, I'm going to cut that out because this is going to be the background of my bezel. Okay, it fits right in there nicely. Then I'm going to just put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of this so that it will be adhered to the bezel. So there we have that. And I've got some little pieces parts that I want to put in here and also some verbiage. So I'm going to use this little word sticker that I have, and it's called Hope. I'm going to kind of cut that down a little bit. I'm going to stick that inside my bezel on my paper. Then I had a little heart with a little key lock in it. And then I have a key, which also came in the kit. And then I have all these little pieces parts. So I'm going to kind of try and drop some of those in there. I think I'll wet my finger so I can pick them up. And I'm just going to kind of smatter these all around the edges of the verbiage, just to add a little extra. Okay, now that I have all my little pieces parts in there, I'm going to make up my ice resin. I've had so much fun with this, I hardly have any of it left. So it was a little hard coming up with this Technique tag, which we're actually not really going to do a tag because I was running out. I did create and try some of the ice resin on different papers. This is mulberry paper that I stamped with archival ink, and then I dried it and then put the ice resin over top of it, which that's very cool. And then I just tried some of the vellum paper that was in the kit, and I also used a piece of dictionary paper because I just wanted to see how they're going to come out. I'm not sure how and when I will use these, but I have them now, and I wanted to try it. So we're going to take the cap off of our ice resin and giving even pressure to both sides, we're just going to push it in there. And there's the end of my ice resin. Sad. Okay, and then we're going to use our popsicle stick and we're going to fold the two parts together, and we're going to do this for 2 minutes. It will turn cloudy on you, and then when it gets near to its time of being all mixed together, it will get very clear. Okay, so I have my ice resin here all mixed together. I mixed it together for 2 minutes. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bigger parts out, and then I'm going to pour my ice resin into the bezel, and I'm going to just put some of it in there, and then I'm going to drop my larger pieces into the ice resin. Then that way I know I have it on the back and we're good. Okay, and then I'm just going to pour some more of the ice resin in. Okay, oops, looks like I need a little bit more over here. All right. Okay, so now I'm just going to set that aside for 6 to 10 hours and let that dry. Went pawing through my bag of all my Swirly-Doo leftovers from previous kits, and I found these really cool keys, chipboard keys that are put out by Petaloo. So I am going to just color them a little bit. I have some Viva Color Inca Gold here, and I'm just going to paint this on. I'm adding a little bit of water to the Inca Gold, and I'm just painting this on the key because I want it to be kind of silvery like the bezel is. So we're just going to paint that on there. This stuff dries fairly quick. That's why I really kind of like working with it as opposed to paint. So I'll flip these over and paint the back sides. Alright, so we'll set those aside to dry along with our little bezel and all its goodness in it. And then when all of this is all dry, I'll come back and compile the whole brooch together, and it'll be a good thing. I want to try something. Not sure if this is going to work, but what I'm going to do is I have these blanks, and I want to adhere my black flower to these blanks because it's going to be part of the whole brooch. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of that ice resin on there, and then I'm going to put my black flower in there. This is also in the kit. All right. So there are my flowers. And I have a flower that I had made for my Cherish box, but I didn't use that, and that's going to be part of the whole creation here. We've got some little leftover leaves from a previous Swirly-Doos kit, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take this bezel and we're going to lay it right on top of here, and it's going to create this beautiful brooch. So I have a little bit of the ice resin left over, and I'm just kind of dabbing it onto the Petaloo keys that I colored. And it does such a good job at staying in its boundaries. So I'm going to set these. I did it to all 3 keys. So I'm just going to set this here and let this set up and dry. So after hours of drying, this is what I came up with. Here is my nice, wonderful bezel with all of the fun goodies in it. And what I ended up creating was this pin. I put it all together on a piece of chipboard, and there's ribbons and leaves and flowers that are in the kit, some tulle, a little bit of rickrack to create this pin. But before I put the pin back on, what I do want to do is I cut a tag from one of the papers from a previous kit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark where I want to punch some holes in my tag. What I want to eventually do is attach the pin back to the pin and then attach it to the tag, which then that will be a wonderful gift that you can give somebody. So I've made my holes, and now I'm going to punch some holes in my tag. So I have my handy dandy crocodile, and I'm just going to go in here and punch the holes in the tag. Then I think I'll use my handy dandy little Distress It All, because we don't want a boring tag. Oh, so much better. Then I'm going to use a hot glue gun to adhere my pin back on my brooch. This is self-adhesive, but I just never trust it. Get that centered on there. Let that set up. Now I know I created some keys and I did put some of the ice resin on it, but I opted to not use them on my brooch. It just made it a little too long. So I'll save those for another time, but they did come out very, very, very cool. I absolutely and totally love them. So now that my hot glue is all set up, I'll undo the pin. Adhere my pin to my tag. And there you have it. What a wonderful gift to give somebody. Hope you've enjoyed this Swirlydoos Education Team tutorial, and that you can grab your ice resin kit and have a fabby time. Thank you.